Alright, so this is going to be a video on how to shoot the English Warbow in the correct form. So first, for warm-up, I find these training bands pretty much essential. What I have here is 2 loops. Both of these loops are 15 pounds. So you don't really need a tab for this. I usually use 2 fingers because the 3rd finger will start to pinch. That has caused me some problems. So I'll do 10-15 reps just to warm up the muscles, prevent injury. That's 10. 2 15, so 30, total of 30, 10 times. This next one, total of 60. Now I've done that, I'll take 1 or 2 minute break, then hop on to 100 pounds. Alright. I'll use an arrow. Straight. Alright. So first of all, this bow right here was initially 110 pounds at 30, but it has some set. It's pretty old, so it's gone down to about 100, 105, somewhere in there. So yeah, still a Warbow, but nothing that they would bring to a medieval battle. It was laminated as well, so more modern. So, first thing, I usually use a tab. I find that it helps prevent pinching of the fingers, which helps prevent hand injuries or, pulling muscles like in between your hand bones, which I've had from this. It's pretty painful. Also, it helps prevent pinching of the arrow from moving it off to the side, which a lot of new archers have a problem with. If you pinch the arrow too much, I'm really exaggerating this, but I'm really pinching the arrow. Of course, it doesn't fall off this time. There you go. That'll happen. You do not want to release when the arrow is not on your hand, for safety reasons, obviously. Alright. So, to demonstrate that technique, I'll be using 100 pounds. Pretty easy for me, so I can really, do it a few times to show you. But the main difference in growing a Warbow or medieval Longbow, whatever you want to call it, is that you have to use your back muscles at the end of the draw. You can't just use your arm muscles. In modern archery, hunting as well, you can just lift the bow up and pull straight to your cheek. But anything over 100 pounds, I find that it's not going to work. And the other difference, besides the draw weight, is that we're pulling to either start of the ear or even behind the ear, which is usually, for most archers, 30 to 32, maybe 33 inches, depending on the person's arm span. Alright, so with starting the draw, I usually start it low. Here, there we can see. Usually start it low, so I can swing into the bow. This motion helps me start the draw, because actually what I have found with heavyweight warbows is that the hardest part is the first 20 inches. So it's getting to here. That's what I call opening up a bow. If you can get it to here, you're not necessarily opening it up because you're only using your arm muscles. Once you get it past, you can engage the back and get those extra 10 inches, which is, I find, the easiest part of the draw. Can vary person to person, but once you are able to get the back muscles in, your back has a whole lot more muscle than your arms. So, also, one of the other things is, we start the draw here and go high. The elbow goes high. So I lift up the bow at an angle here because I want to emphasize the height of this shoulder comes up, rotates in. So without the bow here, stick my butt out so I can start to get my back muscles in there. And really with the back muscles, you're trying to touch your shoulder blades to each other. But I find going high, rotating down to a place where you can lock your shoulder blades is the best way to do it. Simply doing this motion, it's a lot harder. If you ever gone to the gym or had training bands and trying to do this motion, it's very difficult. So I find if you draw high and rotate this shoulder down, this motion, while you're pushing your back into it, that's what makes it really doable. Because you're not going to be able to shoot 140 pounds like this. I can maybe do 100 pounds like this, like normal target archery, but then I'm completely tired after that. But with this form, drawing high, rotating shoulder, gauging the back, the first or the last 5 inches, that's the only way I can shoot heavy bows. And I can shoot 100, 110 all day. So, 30-inch arrow. Demonstrating. I could hold that at least a minute because my shoulder blades are engaged. That's the other thing. Even if you can, if you're doing like target archery with a heavy bow, even if you can get it to your mouth right here, you're not going to be able to hold it there. Once you get your back muscles in there, you can hold that all day. But yeah, that's the basics. Stance. You see in medieval artwork, your front foot is kind of angled towards where you're shooting. Back foot's at a 90-degree angle here. That is not completely necessary, but what it does is it aids you into like leaning into the bow and putting your front shoulder forward and your back into it. The other thing is this elbow right here. A lot of archers are going to want to, when they start, going to want to keep this straight. With these heavy bows, that is not going to work. You're going to hit your arm with the string, and you're going to damage this shoe. I find when starting on heavy bows, it's really good to reinforce the elbow with some kind of wrap, because there is going to be injury if you are not careful. You have to have this slightly bent. That's the hardest part of shooting the Warbow, is keeping this bent. So, if one thing you take away, you want this elbow bent. You want good alignment, your shoulder to here. take a couple minute break. And then I'll pull this 125-pound U-boat that I made. Alright, here's the boat. Made by myself, Pacific U. 125 pounds at 30 inches. My body compression is making it hard to pull all the way, even though I'm getting past my ear. Got that far. With heavier bows, I can only pull 29 just because of the compression in my body. Anyways, I hope that was helpful.